thanks again for meeting with me today, Peyton. It's been great talking to you. I love hearing about your new expansion into the cookbooks. Right now, can I just ask you a few questions about your needs?
Absolutely.
All right. So right now, how do you currently handle outgoing shipments on a daily basis?
Well, once our order comes in, warehouse prints and orders the slips, pull books, and we package them based on size. And most of our shipments, they're pretty small, so they're usually just easy to prep. And after everything is packed, we look at which carrier makes the most sense that day.
Okay.
Postal service is what we usually use.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever something's time sensitive, we go with FedEx.
Okay, so you're between two carriers right now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so when you're deciding between the carriers, what kind of issues do you kind of face when you go through those processes?
Just really inconsistency, just swiping back and forth. Just starting at the websites and trying to compare shipping times and figuring out which labels to print. Sometimes our team just gets mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
We might even use the wrong carrier for an order.
Oh, really?
And anytime we have like a new employee, like getting them on board by this, like they get confused by having to learn two separate systems instead of just one.
Oh, wow. So that sounds like a lot of inconsistency. Well, so with that inconsistency, how does that affect your ability to keep track of the shipments?
Well, if a store calls asking where their package is, and whenever this happens, we have to go through separate systems. We have to first figure out which carrier we're using, and then not only that, we have to go through that system for that specific shipment, and just trying to figure out which carrier we're using slows us down, and it takes us longer than we like to get customers their tracking info. It creates a lot more back and forth.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of trouble you're going through. So, that just sounds like a lot of problems and everything, and I'm hearing what you're saying, and I just have a few more questions. So, about your shipments, right? You were talking about how small they were. So, how many do you typically send out in a week?
Around 150 to 200.
Okay.
Depends on what's trending, what's getting traction, and so they're really small. Even though our volume is high, the boxes themselves aren't that big, so it ends up being a lot of work for not a lot of physical space.
Yeah. So with those small shipments, like you were saying, so what happens when one of those small shipments arrives late? How does that go around, and how do the customers feel, and how does that just work?
Well, truthfully, it hurts us more than you think.
Yeah.
They rely on these smaller shipments for customers and events or book signings, so things that are just specific to what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So it is time sensitive that we get it to them. And if it doesn't show up on time, we get frustrated. They blame us. It might seem small, but those little delays, they stack up, especially with the customers, specific needs.
Yeah, we hear that with a lot of through the different carriers. We hear that through a lot of our customers. But so with those carriers, tell me about the delivery speed and all that.
Well, with the postal service, delivery speed is slow. Delays are common.
Yeah.
It's not unusual for a package to sit in a facility days before being moved.
Yeah.
And in FedEx, it's the other one that we use. It's definitely better, but they're just too expensive.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our lack there. But just with delivery speed, since they are slow, it just looks bad for us.
All right. So what I'm hearing is you got the postal service just not doing too good of a job, and FedEx is good, but they're just pricey.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. Well, let me ask you, if we could reduce, or if you could reduce those delays, how would that impact your customer satisfaction?
Well, stores would definitely trust us more. We wouldn't get so many frustrated calls or refund requests.
Yeah.
And honestly, customers would tend to place more consistent orders. So I mean, just even having a faster shipping carrier would boost our sales. So it would just take a lot of pressure off our team too. So in all aspects, it would benefit us.
Yeah. And with your orders, like, how often is it that a bookstore will ask y'all for faster delivery or rush deliveries?
Well, we see these orders a few times a week.
Mm-hmm.
If a store is running low on something they need before an event, stuff like that, those make our orders more urgent because we have to figure out the fastest way to get the shipment out of the door.
Yeah.
And it just adds stress on top of our regular workload.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with those orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you primarily pick FedEx?
Yes, for orders that require faster shipments, it's more need based.
Yeah.
We will sacrifice the extra cost and go with FedEx.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I'm hearing you get a decent amount of rush orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're relying on just like picking FedEx out of nowhere.
I mean, yeah, like we have to pick FedEx.
Yeah.
It's more of like a judgment call.
But the cost is high.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know you're doing a lot of stuff with the recipe books and stuff. How much is that gonna affect when it comes to delivery and weight and all that?
Delivery and weight. Well, yeah. So, I mean, with the cookbooks, this would cause our quantities to be significantly larger. So we would have to ship in much larger quantities, and so yeah, with weights, like all these things, like we would definitely have to take larger shipments.
And with those larger shipments, do you have any concerns about any of your carriers with those larger shipments?
Well, we've already had issues with heavier shipments getting damaged or delayed.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I mean that's not even what the size of these recipe books would be. So yeah, just worried about how frequently that might happen with the larger boxes.
Wow. Okay. So you got a lot of problems over there, man. So if heavier shipments become a regular part of your business, right, with the recipe books because you're expanding into that market, and your carriers can't handle them well, how could that affect your expansion plans?
Well, I mean, the worst thing that could happen is that it could stop us from launching the product.
Okay, yeah.
If we can't guarantee reliable delivery for bigger orders because, the reliability for deliveries right now is not in shape or where we would like, then that means that we would just lose their trust right away. And so yeah, a bad shipment, since we are just starting a product, shipping needs to be down pat because one bad shipment could hurt us before we even get established in the market.
Oh, okay. All right, well, so with all those heavy shipments, how would it be helpful to you if you could rely on one carrier, right, to manage both your lightweight single shipments and your heavier future shipments? Because I know that you go through a lot of different varieties of packaged boxes, like maybe different weights and sizes, and that can really vary on pricing. I know that.
Yeah, one system would help us in all aspects. One shipment would definitely help us. Now it would help us in the future with our new product.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be one tracking. So yeah, it would just it would help and simplify everything. It would help with mistakes, and it would just make everything significantly smoother.
Yeah, and just going outside of the business, right? I just want to talk about your team for a second. So, how would more reliable tracking services and information, how would that affect your sales team?
Well, it would boost their confidence.
Okay.
They would be more confident in what they are selling because it is more reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, they just have to be cautious about making promises because since we have different carriers, they can't even make a promise about how effective the shipping will come. And so a one carrier with reliable tracking would just boost their confidence. They would be more concrete in what they are saying, which would build their relationships, and I mean it would increase their commissions. So yeah, it would be very beneficial.
Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of problems you're going through. I'd just like to summarize and go through all those problems that I've written down here. So you're currently using USPS and FedEx, and you have a problem with USPS, right? Because they're just not doing too good of a job. But FedEx does a good job or a decent job, but they're just too expensive. And your tracking is inconsistent. You have delays with the bookstores and customers. You have rush shipments that slow your team down. You're concerned about the heavier shipments that may come with your expansion. And you're really just looking for better tracking and reliability that would help out your business for this expansion. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. I'd love to talk about more.
Absolutely.